today we are going to talk about tapping into certainty. Tapping into certainty. So there is a knowing and understanding, I am manifesting this gets to happen type deal. And there is a certainty that when you really acknowledge it, when you bring it into your bones, your tissues, when you're like, this is mine, this is unfolding, that really shifts your trajectory of what you do. And that's why tapping into certainty is so important when it comes to allowing things to manifest very quickly into your world. So what do I mean? First, let me talk about, I love definitions. So I'm going to give you a couple of definitions of certainty so you can understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about certainty. And then we're going to talk about why it matters. Does this make sense? Okay. So first, what is certainty? So certainty is a firm conviction that something is the case, right? It is a quality of being reliably true for you. And it is a fact, right? Is a fact or definitely true on a certain event that is definitely going to take place. So do you see why, those are really good definitions as to why certainty is going to be important, especially when it comes to quantum manifestation. I'm going to read those again. So certainty it's three different definitions. It's either a firm conviction that something is the case. It is the quality of being reliably true. And it is the fact that something is definitely true or an event is definitely going to take place. Okay. So why does certainty matter when it comes to manifesting or when it comes to quantum shifting or leaping or having things unfold in your life? So first of all, those definitions should show you. When you have a certain certainty that something is going to unfold, then you aren't paying attention to external circumstances. We're going to talk in the future about the different types of power, and one of them is circumstantial power. Circumstantial power is when you give your power to circumstances. And if you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that what you desired was happening and it was unfolding and it was a certain event, then you wouldn't allow circumstances or situations or different things that happen to shift your viewpoint on whether or not your manifestation is happening. Does that make sense? So what if you could say, I know with certainty that by me tapping into, remember we talked about it, tapping into the frequency of this is already done, of my thing is unfolding. I get to choose to be happy now and not wait until. I get to choose to be success now without waiting until success to unfold. I get to choose to know that I am abundant. I get to be wealth now without the money in my account. Does that make sense? So when you choose to say, I am choosing that because I know that with certainty what I desire is unfolding, that's when you start to make choices and make decisions and be it now instead of needing the byproduct to be there before you allow it to unfold. And when you can truly tap into certainty, that helps everything else, all of your external circumstances, all of your external situations, it helps all of the external to start bending to what you are deciding is done. So what does this look like? I love this example. I had a client and we were tapping into her first 6-figure month. And we did this for a little bit. She really tapped into what she would do, how she would be, how she would show up, what that looked like. And so she decided with certainty that it was already done. She decided that, okay, if it doesn't happen this month, it is going to happen. And whatever I do is leading up to that. And, we did shadow work. We did all of those things, right, to allow her to really tap into that certainty. And she just every day was like, it's happening. So I'm going to be the person that has this success, has the clients coming, has that already. I'm going to be that person now. And so with her, first, it was a certainty that it was happening. It didn't matter if it happened today. It didn't matter if it happened tomorrow. It didn't matter if it happened next month. It was happening. And so she didn't allow external circumstances to determine how she felt. She decided that I'm going to do my part and allow, the beings of light and allow God, universe, source. I'm going to allow all of that to do what it needs to do in that 95. Remember I said 95% of your manifestation is happening where you can't see it. And the 5% is the piece that you're doing your part, taking your action, doing your movement. And so when it unfolded, it wasn't like shock and awe for her. It was like, of course, #of course. And that's why I love, like for years and years and years, I have been telling my clients every time something unfolds, I'm like, #of course it did. Of course this works out for you. Of course you get to experience ease. Of course this unfolds for you easily. Of course people go out of their way for you. Of course this situation is working out for you. That's the way we speak. And that's what really was ingrained into her. A certainty of course this is happening. And thank you. Thank you. I'm so appreciative. Thank you. I'm so happy. Thank you. This is unfolding. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Yeah. So certainty matters because in order for you to take the steps, in order for you to do, right? Doing the things and move, right? In alignment, you've got to trust that every single thing that I am doing is contributing to the unfolding of what I know gets to happen for me. I decided that it's done. You guys who did the basics of manifesting, you decided that it is done. Right? And you decided that it got to unfold. And what happened? It does. So once I decide, it's done, right? Once I ask, it's done. Once I decide, it's done and done. And so if I am deciding that it is done, if I am deciding that it is already done, then I have decided that with certainty, this gets to unfold. So why is it so hard to tap into certainty? Well, one of the bigger things for tapping into certainty that has been a challenge is because we want to protect ourselves from disappointment. Why? Because our parents, our guardians, the people in our lives have tried over and over and over again to protect us from disappointment, because disappointment does hurt. Yes. And so because we're getting coddled and protected from disappointment, we get so nervous and scared that this won't work. So I'm not going to go for it. I'm not going to trust God, universe, source. I'm not going to trust my desire. I'm not going to trust my heart that knows that this gets to happen for me and that I get to experience this. I'm not going to trust that, because what if I don't get disappointed? What if it doesn't happen? Because we always go with the what if negative, because we're trying to protect ourselves. So in order to protect you from disappointment, you don't want to tap into certainty. You don't want to believe what you know. If your desires are divine and your desires are definite, then you are protecting yourselves from the disappointment of it unfolding by deciding that, you know what, I'm not going to tap into this. Because I need to protect myself. I need to put a little, box around myself because this is scary. Right? Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the bigger reasons why it's so hard to tap into certainty, because we're so scared of disappointment. There was a time when I was launching a program with a colleague of mine. She's a very, very good friend, my sister. Hey, Lisa. And we were so afraid of disappointment that we were trying to avoid trusting that this was going to unfold. And so instead of hiding from disappointment, we just decided, okay, let's just dive into the disappointment. Because I said, if we don't sign anyone, are we still going to do this program together? Are we still going to do the recordings? Are we still going to show up? And we were like, yes, we are. I said, so who cares if no one buys if we're going to do it anyway? Right? Who cares if no one says yes? Who cares if no one buys? Who cares if we're going to show up for ourselves anyway? So we were like, okay, so we gave ourselves 5 minutes to really just dive into disappointment. We cried, we shriveled, we had tears. We were like, if no one buys, it's going to be sad. And blah, blah, blah. So we gave ourselves the permission to just feel the disappointment. And then after that, we were like, okay, done with that. It didn't kill us to feel this disappointment. And now we're going to do it anyway. And then we ended up signing 20 people right after that. We got an aligned hit. We got a download. We were like, oh, let's do it this way. And boom, 20 people signed up. So we just tapped into what is certain here. Like, we're going to do this program and we're going to do it. So, yeah, no, yeah, no. So we were like, forget it. Let's just feel the disappointment, get over that hump and keep moving. So there's other reasons why it's so hard to tap into certainty, but the biggest one is to protect yourself from it not happening. So what if you said, well, it's going to happen anyway, so let me just feel the disappointment that could be one of the billion possibilities and the quantum, right? You know, I love to call it the quantum soup. It's a possibility in the quantum soup that no one buys. It's a possibility in the quantum soup that I'm single forever, or it's a possibility in the quantum soup that this business doesn't take off, or it is a possibility that this doesn't happen or that doesn't happen, whatever your desire is. And if you just say, okay, I'm going to let myself feel the pain or the suffering or whatever disappointment from this possibility, and then I'm going to move forward and move in the direction of the possibility unfolding. Because if I tap into it is with certainty, this desire would not be mine if it wasn't already done. If I could tap into that, knowing that, then I can move forward with potency and power. So, what is a way that you can begin to tap into certainty today? I want you to really look at what is the thing that you desire? What is the desire that's coming from your soul? The desire that you're like, okay, this is what I would love to have. This is my vision. This is what I feel in my bones. This is what I feel drawn to. And I want you to say, this is a certainty for me. And I want everything you do for you to start seeing that everything, even if it feels like it's a wrong turn, is taking you towards that inevitability. Even if it's a breakdown, even if it feels like something that, is opposite of what you really want, whatever that is, I want you to feel it is a certainty that is taking you towards that. That's number one. I want you to decide that everything you do, everything you say, everything you experience is moving you in the direction of whatever you desire unfolding. That's number one. And then number two, I want you to start looking at things that are certainties in your life, like the sun rising and setting, the moon and the stars, right? The moon cycle, like those type of things. Look at things that are certainties. The breath that you breathe, being able to breathe, right? For a lot of you, the clean water, like just there's certain things that are very certain in your life. And I want you to keep pointing to those. Wow, that certainty. I have so much certainty in my life. And start feeling what it feels like and accentuating the feeling of certainty in your body. Start accentuating the feeling of certainty in your life. Because the more you start to tap into what certainty really feels and looks like, then you can start to feel what certainty feels like in your manifestation life. And knowing that the things that you desire, it is with that similar certainty as the sun rising and setting that this is unfolding. And you may not know when, you may not know how, you may not even know the exact of how it's going to look, but those feelings that you desire, it is with certainty that it is unfolding. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to tap into certainty, the frequency of certainty, and make this one of your default frequencies. And then you can start to aim it. You can start to direct that frequency, direct that energy, direct that power towards your desires. Well, I wouldn't have this desire if it wasn't certain. I wouldn't desire to feel abundant. I wouldn't desire to feel healthy. I wouldn't desire to feel, in love. I wouldn't desire that if it wasn't a certainty that I get to choose now. I wouldn't desire this success in my business, or I wouldn't desire to have this mission or this vision if it wasn't something that was already mine. And so I'm trusting, right? You get to trust, you get to know, you get to say everything that I'm doing is taking me in this direction, and I get to choose this feeling now. You're picking up, but I'm putting down. So what I want you to do is replay this, and then you can start to ask God, universe, source, sugar daddy, whatever you want to call that potent, powerful energy that is within you and all around you. I want you to tap into that and say, how do I tap into certainty today? I know this is unfolding. What do I do today to tap into that certainty? What do I do today to really tap into the certainty, the knowing that this is unfolding for me? And if when you ask, it is answered. When you ask for guidance, you're moved into that direction. And I really want you to fully own it. Okay? So I know it's scary to tap into certainty. And anytime you feel that there's a direction that is moving you away from certainty to fear or to doubt, allow yourself, give yourself some time to really just feel whatever is coming up, the doubt, the uncertainty, the fear. Let yourself feel the disappointment and show yourself that, okay, that's a possibility. And now I'm choosing to know this other possibility exists for me, and I'm choosing to go in that direction. Because if you avoid it and I'm not doubting. Oh, no doubt, right? Then what are you doing? You're just forcing or resisting against the doubt, right? Resistance, and it's keeping you where you are. Where if you could acknowledge that, hi, doubt, there you are. Yes, I'm doubting. Yes, I don't feel certain. And guess what? I'm human. That's one of the billion possibilities. And I don't need to resist you. You are a possibility, and I'm choosing something else. Does that make sense? So really take those exercises and play with certainty. Play with what you know already to be certain in your life. And then anytime your desire comes up, you can use that energy and apply it to, you know what? This desire is mine, and it is certain that it gets to unfold. It wouldn't be mine to feel this way if I couldn't just choose to feel this way without anything else supporting it. And I'm choosing that now. So on that note, really tap in. You've got those 3 definitions of certainty. My favorite one is the final one that says it is a fact. It is a fact. I'm going to read it again. Certainty is a fact. It is definitely true that an event is definitely going to take place. It is a certainty. That is your desire. That is what you're manifesting. That is what you're being drawn to is a fact. It is a certainty. And when you know that, when you trust that, when you say, you know what, it is a certainty. So it doesn't matter what I do right now. It doesn't matter because it is a certainty that I am in the GPS. That address is there. Success in business. Boom, go. Amazing relationship of my dreams, go. The GPS has been set. I'm in the car, and no matter how many times I stop off to charge my Tesla, no matter how many times I stop to go get snacks, no matter what, I am going in that direction regardless. That's the certainty that I want you to have, because when you wake up with certainty that I'm going in that direction, it is who I am, it is what is unfolding, that will change your life. So I want you to play with this. I want you to have fun with this. The next podcast that we're going to do is going to be talking about storytelling, and you're going to infuse some certainty into the stories that you are telling, because right now we're telling stories of things that we do not want. Or what if it happens bad, right? And so we're going to play and shift your stories into, what if this works out for me and works out in my favor? Okay. So this was so fun. I cannot wait for the next storytelling podcast.